Caleb joins us in Indianapolis. Caleb, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. I had kind of a career question for you guys. I started a new job about 2 months ago, and that time I've been fully remote. The day, actually, well, not the day, but the week I started, the company instituted a booster requirement.
Okay.
But since we've been fully remote, they haven't really enforced it. However, today they basically said a month from today, everyone has to be in the office 2 days a week, and they are enforcing the booster.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of at a crossroads. Like I'm not boosted, trying to figure out kind of the best way to handle this, especially being so new into the role, just kind of the best way to go about this.
So, man, I've had this conversation a lot over especially the last year. Here's the simplest way to go about it. Do you want to get the booster and keep your job? Or do you feel strongly about not getting the booster and you're just going to need to go find another job?
Yeah.
And what I've found is any other angst you give yourself, any other rage, I get all that, whatever side of this you fall on. But any additional weight you bring to the conversation beyond answering those two questions is a choice for you. You're choosing to be more miserable. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel really strongly, I'm not doing this, great. Go get another job. Just be in the market today. Start applying today. You got all weekend. Get after it. If you say, man, I hate this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it, great. Then go do it with a smile on your face and then go on about your day. Anything other than that is a choice to be miserable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just difficult because it was like, if this requirement was in place when I was going through the process, I wouldn't have even accepted the job. And then I was
right.
Well, maybe I can make it work for, as long as they'll let me. And then obviously today that kind of all blew up. So
that's right. That's right.
Just trying to understand and also trying to make a clear decision, not obviously a little emotional, just, the suddenness of it. Coming on today, but also understanding I have kind of a month-long runway to figure out what I need to do, but just kind of wanted to get an outside opinion on kind of the best way to
How old are you, man?
About it. So, I'm 26.
26. All right. So is this your first or second, third big job?
This is my second job. I actually just left at the end of the year, my first job out of college for this position.
Okay. So the vaccine it's a lightning rod. Okay, and you are wise beyond your years to say, I want to exhale a little bit and get some perspective. But here's what I want to tell you: for the rest of your life, jobs you take you're gonna start a job on Monday and you're gonna get reorged on Tuesday. I started this job with no radio experience and an 18-month plan to learn how this thing works, and then COVID kicked off, and Dave said, "Well, congratulations, you're on the radio." Right? We had to figure this out live, and I've made a train wreck of a few things, and so. Then there's a reorg, then there's a this, and then, hey, we're not going to be able to do retirement funding matching this year because it's always going to be a thing. And so, and this is with all of your relationships, all of your life, there's always going to be a thing. I'm living in a house, and then the county raises my taxes. I live in a country, and now they require, whatever the thing is, make the decision you're going to make, and then be at peace with it and go on about your day. Don't choose to stew and spin and be angry and talk about it and call everybody and Facebook about it. That's just choosing misery. And that misery has a physical toll on your heart, on your brain, on your body. Don't do it. Just say, I'm in or I'm out, and I'm going to go on about it. And you're making grown-up decisions for whatever reason. Great, man. I'm proud of you. Do you have somebody in your life that you trust that you can sit down and talk to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm married and we're in a good church too. So
I'd reach out to a man that you trust. Not to say your wife is going to be Team Caleb, or maybe she's going to be absolutely opposite Team Caleb if you're in my house. But find a man in your church that's 10 years down the road, that's 35, 40, and say, hey, can I take you out for coffee? Here's what I'm wrestling with. I just started this job. Here's what I'm thinking through. And let them speak some wisdom into you. And I'm not saying wisdom on what you should do, but it helps take the emotion out of this thing. We can look at this objectively. I do that when I get emotional about decisions, and I still do, right? I get somebody that I trust to help me walk through it. I make the decision, and then I'm on about my day, man, just because I'm not going to choose to poison myself. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Caleb, I'm less emotional than John.
Definitely helpful.
Yeah.
So I'll walk you through a different scenario here. How much do you make right now?
With a bonus, I'm at 101.
Wow, way to go, man. 101 at 26 years old. You're crushing it. So tell me this. Here's how I look at it. If someone said, hey, if you get the booster, I'll give you $101,000 a year forever, I'd be like, okay, well, now it's a decision to consider. But if you say, hey, my principles, my values, tell me, no, it's not worth that, well, then we have to turn that down and go, okay, I got to go find to work somewhere else that will hopefully pay me that much or more that will allow me to still have these values and beliefs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your line of work?
I'm an accountant.
Okay,
cool.
So in accountant world, you can find another accounting job in Indianapolis, right, that may have less strict policies.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Your values may say, I can't be in Indianapolis anymore. Your values may say, I can't be in this community. Like, what, see what I'm saying? So it's where these values go, and they're your values. That's the beauty of them. And I'm going to pick them. I'm going to hold them firm, and then I'm going to go about my life, right?
Yeah.
And if the matrix is, there's not a lot I wouldn't do for $101,000.
I just try to take the emotions out of it for a second and go, okay, let's look at logic on paper versus just the emotions. I think both are important.
The other side is, I won't work for a company who chooses to insert themselves into my life at this level. I don't want that sort of control. All right? Great, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then be at peace with it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I've been struggling with. It's like, if you can't trust me to make like a medical decision for myself, how can you even trust me to like do my job correctly? And I think that's really like what I've been wrestling with.
So
on the flip side of it.
So here's what I want to really caution you against. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned this. It's an old psychological principle called the fundamental attribution error. Okay, it's when you get inside somebody else's head and try to decide for them why they just did what they did. And then you respond to your perception of why they did what they just did, and you get mad about it or angry about it or happy about it or whatever. So what I'll tell you is, get out of people's heads. Whether it's your wife, whether it's your workplace, just look at the policy on the paper. They're asking me to do this. This violates my values. I got a month. Cool. I'm out. Have a great week. Here's a micro version of this. You walk in from a hard day of accounting, and your wife left her shoes by the door again, and you trip over them. And you can think, she just did that to make me. Dude, you could get in her head and think that, or you could say, man, my wife's probably really exhausted and something must be going on. I'm going to pick these things up and I'm going to do the dishes too, right? So you get to pick how you respond here. I'd say get out of your company's head. They don't trust me to. Nope, that had nothing to do with you. They made a policy. Just say, am I going to follow this policy or not? And then I'm going about my day.
One of those choices is filled with anxiety, and one is just freedom.
This is life. What am I going to do next? That's right.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the decision, Caleb, no matter what you end up with. But you're crushing it, man. 26, 100K, not so bad. I'll take that.